Hi, we're Latvian Diaries abroad. I'm Kitty.
And I'm Liggy, and today we're just gonna look back at our year and talk about how it's been.
Yay! So yeah, we're trying something new now. We're trying to do the video format, but we're still long distance. So I actually have Liggy right next to the camera
Kitty's right there,
on the
so
video call.
if we keep
Yes.
looking not in the camera, that's why. We're not ignoring you guys.
Yeah,
But yeah, let us know what
it's
you
not
think about.
personal.
Yeah, let us know what you think about this video format. We still don't know how we're gonna edit it, but hopefully you guys like it. And if you want to see more of us, just let us know. Yeah, this is how we look like.
Yes. A bit Christmas vibes for us. Liggy has a tree at home.
Yeah, I
I
hope it
just have a
doesn't
jumper.
make a lot of lines, how some lights can do, but yeah.
Okay.
So,
Well, yeah.
how do we start? Do you, Kitty, want to just tell us how your year in general has been? What did you want from this year, and what did you manage to accomplish? Or is that too broad and you want me to start?
It's quite broad.
Okay.
It's quite broad. It is quite broad, but also, yeah, I don't know what to include and what to exclude. Um, I would say my year started quite hopeful. I think I did a lot of like a little not routines, little practices to write down what I want for the year. I think I even did this one specific one where you kind of write it as a story, what happens when, kind of thing. I haven't reread the story, so it's hard to tell. But there's a lot of stuff that has changed in my life within this year that I know at the beginning of it, I was writing the story in a different way. So I'm not sure if there's going to be a lot of stuff that actually aligns with it. Um, I started my year, I don't know, I think it was a tough winter last year as well. So I wasn't, I don't know, the most happy around this same time as it is now. So I kind of hope that everything's just gonna get better, I guess, emotionally, mentally, physically. Um, I don't know if I had a lot of specific goals now. I would have to double check separately, but I think I did like a lot in the area of friendships and meeting with people and like continued my personal development, um, and also professional development. I think I've achieved quite a lot over the past year in those areas in one way or another. Um, yeah, like we at work we did our fifth event this year. This is the fourth one for me, but it was like kind of a big deal. And this was like the event that we had the most people attending. So that was a really cool thing. I went on the stage a little bit even. I challenged myself to go on the stage to say like a line or two. But that was very scary, but I did it because I wanted to do it. So that's really cool. Um, yeah, I think, and I traveled twice to Latvia, so that was cool. I think that's what that was one of the things I was talking about last year. That would be like it would be cool to go there just more than once. Um, yes, yes. I don't know if there's anything specific from me at the moment. If something's gonna pop up, I'm gonna keep talking about it. But what about you, Liggy?
Well, I remember I started the year and I had so many plans. One of them was do the podcast. And we did. And like, how great is that? We have skipped a month. But it happens, and I am just genuinely proud of us that we actually stuck to it and we did it. And yeah, so that was one of the big plans. I remember I was waiting for January to come, and we were like, yeah, we're gonna do it. Another goal of mine was to publish a poetry book. That didn't happen. It's still in the back of my head. It's not a priority to me at the moment. I know that I will eventually get around to doing it. I just haven't been the most poetic this year, I wouldn't say. I haven't written that many poems. Another goal of mine was to start maths degree, and I did. So that's where my focus is going into at the moment. And I'm having so much fun. So I'm happy about that. Another plan of mine, I had so many like little things that I was like, yeah, I want to do that. another one was to move out because I was at the time still living with an ex, and it was very toxic and it was very unpleasant. And I managed to move out twice actually. So the first was to like escape the
Yeah.
situation, and then the second time was to, to move out by myself. And now I'm in a flat by myself, and I don't know, I'm an adult. It just feels very, I don't know, and it happened unexpectedly as well because I was looking for flats, but this one, it just felt like it fell in my lap. Like I saw an ad, and 3 days later they were like, yeah, I got the keys. It was crazy, like that never happens to me. So I feel like things just happen for a reason. And I obviously went to Latvia, which was a big deal, and I'm very happy I did. And I had such a fun time. And yeah, I think that in general is like all of the little things that I wanted to do. I'm happy with my year. I know I didn't accomplish everything, but I never do. And I usually say that I don't want to put any goals, but even for next year, I already have written some down in my notes app.
Aw.
But yeah, so I think I've had a good year, I'd say. It's been very, I don't know, filled with love, I would say. I've been able to see my friends more often, and I've been less depressed, and I just have more love for myself. And I don't know, I just genuinely feel happy with life at the moment. And to me, that is very kind of bittersweet because Christmas time is usually very hard for me because of my PTSD. But at the moment, I'm just feeling very nostalgic, but in a good way. Like I'm not thinking about the bad times. I'm just thinking about the year I've had, the people I've loved, and all of my friends, and yeah, it's just been lovely.
Yeah. Wow. No, that's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah, you're right. Podcast. I mean, we were talking about it like
I remember,
last
yeah,
year
I
for
remember
a
I
long
asked you
time.
in August, and I was like, hey, would you want to do
Yeah.
it next year? And we
Yeah.
both put it in the calendar for January, and then January came, and
Yeah,
we went.
and that's when we started. Okay, how do we do this? So we've done it. Yeah. Okay, it's not been once a month all the time, but like literally, it's only been like
Yeah,
one time.
yeah, we've only skipped 1 month. Well, I don't know when this is
Yeah.
gonna come out, but yeah, we've only
Yeah.
skipped 1 month.
Yeah, true. And also, yeah, we had a guest.
Yes,
Next
and we
year
did
we might
a
have more guests.
live one as well.
Yes.
So I feel like we've had
Yes.
a good year, and
Which
yeah.
we've challenged ourselves. Well, there is definitely still room for improvement from our side to push it out more. But I think that's one of our goals for next year, right?
Yes.
So yeah, well, while you were talking, I remembered on my Pinterest vision board I had put to see Northern Lights, and I had a special, like, I had a specific image that would probably be in Iceland, but something was up this year that there was a lot of Northern Lights all around the world, and like in the UK you could see them too. So I actually saw them in the UK. So I feel like it kind of came true in one way or another anyways, so that's cool. Yeah. And then I think I also had like some stuff about like going for hikes more or something, and I feel like for the first half of the year, almost every month I had gone on some sort of a longer walk or like a hike type thing. But yeah, so that's very exciting. That's cool. So a lot of little things were like coming true and stuff. It's just, I think the second half of the year has been a bit more tough for me. So right now it's kind of hard to see like all the good things, I guess, that happened. But I'm still very grateful, and I think there's a lot of personal growth that has happened in the second half of the year, which I thought, working on myself for the past 2-3 years, I thought I'm not in the situation I was, but I think it was a great thing that happened that opened my eyes on a lot of things on myself, especially because I do, even though I have major progress on like communicating with others, I realized that it's still not as easy as I thought it could be or it would be. So that's work in progress. Yes. But I feel like one thing that has really really nicely happened, I think it's our friendship, really. Right? It started last year, but I think now we're more frequent communication than we were before.
Yes.
And that's really nice.
Yes.
I think that's, yeah.
Yeah.
And we went to Latvia together.
We did. It was so exciting. We should definitely do that again. I don't think I could afford going as often as I want to. But yeah, I'd definitely go with you again. It was so much fun, and it was nice having a person that's been through the same thing. You know, like a foreigner in your own country. It's crazy. But yeah, it was very lovely. And I agree. I feel like our friendship has blossomed this year, I'd say. Because I personally, that was something I wanted to focus on, just like my friendships in general, because I had noticed because of my depressive episode that lasted 3 years, I had, that is mad though, like that is a long episode. But yeah, I realized that I've been neglecting a lot of aspects of my life, and I'm glad that we managed to rekindle that love, I'd say.
Yeah, I agree. I do agree. I think it's like, it kind of came sort of naturally, but it kind of worked out very nicely. I think it's a major progress. It's a major progress. I think another thing I guess I was focusing on is to be, I don't know, a bit more healthy, like diet-wise, and then just use more natural and healthy products and stuff, and they kind of found me in one way, and like I got into essential oils. Then I did a whole detox in May, which was really cool, and I'm really proud of myself. Like I had a whole month without any sweets. I think that was really cool. And relatively a lot of time spent outside in nature. Maybe not as much as the year before, because I was like spending a lot of time alone in a park after gym, because I would go home through a park, and sometimes if it was like still sunny outside, I would just sit there for like half an hour or so just to, I don't know, enjoy the sunset or whatever was there at the time. So this year it didn't happen as much because, I don't know, I feel like I was going to the gym, but also I wasn't as consistent as it was last year. So it's hard to tell, but I have been consistent with my yoga in the mornings, like throughout the whole year since, I don't know, I feel like for the past 2, if not almost 3 years now, I've been relatively consistent. That's like one thing that is like amazing. I'm really proud of myself that I have my morning routine somewhat sorted. But yeah, I think what I've lost, I had a really good start with planning my days and my weeks and whatnot at the beginning of the year. Then I kind of lost it. No, I didn't lose it. My planner ended and I didn't get the new one for a while. Then I got it and then I just didn't touch it for a while. And I'm still trying to get back to that. I feel like that's kind of a thing that's being worked on some level now. Haven't touched it in a week, but I'll get there. But podcast-wise, what did we have? We had some comments, didn't we?
We had one, yes. Which is quite funny, because we had that comment before you could answer to comments. So it took us 2, maybe 3 months to actually reply to that comment. But yeah, we have a comment.
Yeah, and we have, I feel like, don't we have some subscribers or something?
We have followers, yes. We have them both on Spotify and YouTube, and I'm still a bit like weirded out by the numbers. I can pull them up if you want me to. I know that about 2 weeks ago, we hit 100 plays on our Spotify, which I thought was crazy.
Amazing.
It's amazing. I didn't expect that. It came around the time when the Spotify Wrapped got released, and I had this notification on my phone being like, hey, and I thought it's from Spotify. Well, it was, but it was for the podcast one, and it just, I don't know, it hit a string on my heart.
Wow. It means like,
it means a lot,
we've been listened to at least 100 times.
Yeah.
Wow.
Some of them could be us, obviously.
Yeah. Well, I would say
But
like
still,
probably a
yeah.
third of it. But still, it means like it's not just us listening to it. It means there are people listening
Yes.
to it. So that's amazing. Appreciate everyone who's listening to our chats. Mostly structured, actually. We always had a theme and topic. Yeah. Which topic do you think? Oh, if you can put a list of what we've done, because I can't remember them
Okay.
all, but maybe I can find as well. Which topic was your favorite, and which was the least favorite?
So I'm just gonna talk numbers because I finally pulled it up. So we have 23 Spotify followers. 23 people. I feel like that is a lot. And we have 7.
That is actually a lot. I don't know
It
that many
is.
people.
And we have 7 subscribers on YouTube, which I also feel like is a lot. But yeah, so we have done. Let me pull up the episodes. So we have done 9 in total. Oh, because in January we made the introduction one. That's why there's less. So our first one was being a forever foreigner, which I feel like was a very great start, and that's the one we got the comment on. And then we talked about womanhood, motherhood, and everything in between for March. Then we did an introduction to us. Then we talked about grief and life beyond it. Then we had Ligo, Yang, and summer solstice. And then we talked about going back home and how it was for us. Then we had the live episode where we just answered random questions. Then we talked about school with Daniel. And then we had the last one that was the experience with eating disorders. I think I have 3 favorite. I obviously loved the live because I feel like that was just different. It was a lovely experience. I loved having Daniel on our podcast because that felt more I'm not saying I get bored of talking to you, Kitty. But I feel like that was just interesting having this another person and their experience and their views, and we were able to like commute. It was 2 hours long. Like we clearly, and we didn't even talk about everything we wanted to talk about. So I feel like that is something I would love to do more next year. Maybe just having guests here and there and talking about things. But my favorite, I think, was talking about grief, because that was quite healing for me, and this is why we made the podcast to talk about things that are hard to talk about. I'm trying to pull you back up. There we go. And that was just, I don't know, healing, and it was nice, I feel like, to talk about it, because we don't often get the opportunity to talk about sad things. And grief, everybody either has experience or will, and I don't know, it really warms my heart, and we both cried, and it was...
Oh god, yeah. That was the most cried episode, I think.
Yeah, there was a lot of sniffles, but it still is one of my favorites. Yeah. What about you?
Wow. No, these are really good. I can see. Yeah, I feel like I wanted to say as well that the live episode we did, that was the most, like, I don't know, it gave me so much energy. It was so exciting, and it was fun. It was scary, but it was actually so much fun to do it. And also those questions, because we didn't prepare before. We just pulled some questions. And
it was nice to actually have you there as well, because that's the only one we've done side to side. In person together. Yes. Yeah, so maybe that's the whole thing, actually. Like, it was so many little things combined together. There was, like, such a fun and interesting experience, and the questions were really good, and I think it was really cool to, like, think about these things. So, I think that was, like, one of my, like, that was my favorite experience and, like, episode in that sense from my perspective. I wanted to say probably the hardest one was the grief one, just because it was very emotional. But I liked what you said, it was very healing for you, because it's true. Once you lose someone, people, like, you don't really talk about them, and no one's, like, I don't know, everyone's feeling weird about it usually. And I feel sometimes personally weird if I mention something about my dad,
like I feel the others might feel uncomfortable. So I just like I try not to like maybe mention that as much or like keep that thought to myself. So it was nice to kind of think about it and talk through it and like talk whatever was popping in your mind and stuff like that. I think a personal development episode was where we were introducing to us, where we were talking about ourselves, our pasts. I think this is the first year I've actually talked to more people and more openly about things, where I'm coming from and like what kind of experiences I've lived through, more than ever before. And that was that's like I think that was like the most like opening up to the world
I
episode.
think that one was the hardest one for me personally to film.
Yeah.
Because I don't mind people knowing that like I'm emotionally weak because I cry. Like I don't see it like that. To me, if you're emotional, it's like a strength. Well, but maybe that's for me because I had to work so hard to be able to get to there. But yeah, that one, talking about ourselves and introducing to us, that was very hard for me because I feel like I've built all these barriers and it was just weird letting people in and you don't even know who's gonna come in, you know?
Yeah.
It's strangers.
Yeah, that's why I feel like it was like a big step to kind of open up to the world, to really kind of show part of yourself that you might have not really shown to others before. At least not in that sense, I imagine. And then what else? Yeah, the episode with Daniel, I think that was very fun. I think the conversation just kept flowing and like I was very genuinely interested and it was just like, yeah, I liked it. I really liked it as well. And I think, next year we need to like ask more people to join. And actually, I have some people that have said that they would potentially...
We have a lineup.
like to be. Yes, would like to join us. So, yeah, we just need to like think of like topics and stuff that would be...
Yeah, so cool. Guys, if you have anything you want us to talk about, let us know in the comments. Send us a DM telling us your thoughts and whatever. And actually also let us know how your year has been. Have you accomplished everything? Did you not want to accomplish anything? And maybe that's what you achieved. Just let us know. We're genuinely curious and interested.
Yes, I am genuinely interested in people's like lives, in the sense that like what have they gone through, what have they experienced, what have they achieved, and like it's very exciting and it's really inspirational for me. To like that's why I quite often listen to like all these like different interview podcasts and like you may know a certain celebrity because they're like a singer and you know their songs and whatnot, but you don't really know them. I don't know, like I never feel. Like it's hard to feel like you know them proper, like so that's why like interviews help. Obviously it's still not the same level as if you were friends or something, but like it's still like a closer thing. So I do like like that real connection.
Yes,
getting closer to a real connection. Like,
I agree with you. It's nice to be reminded that you're not the only human, because oftentimes social media is about everything has to be perfect, because obviously so many people are showing off their good days and things like that, so it sometimes feels like you forget that they're also human. So it's nice to see like little updates and how it's been for you and what's changed in your life, because then that reminds me, they're also going through life just as we are and also just learning about everything just as we are. And I feel like that's, I don't know, it's very human-like. Yeah.
Oh, no, it's great. And then I wanted to mention the previous episode about eating disorders, or our experience with eating disorders. I think while we were talking about it, I realized that it's still pretty much a work in progress. Like, it opened my eyes that it's so easy to slip back into this not very supportive mindset of yourself. So yeah,
I'm glad you mentioned that.
Every episode is great.
Because I remember in that episode I was like, I have it I have it handled. Like, it's in control. And then literally a week later, I started struggling again. Like, struggling. And, but I feel like it's gonna sound weird, but I feel like that was a good thing because I finally opened up to my therapist about it, and I was like, "Hey,
Oh.
I'm struggling with this." Well, it's not how the conversation happened. She just asked me, "What do you want to talk about?" And I said, "I don't know, like I usually do, because I never know what I want to talk about." Which is why next year I want to start making lists, because obviously throughout the days there is like, oh, I should probably talk about this, and then I forget about it by the time. So I've started already doing that with the list, and I have a few things there. So I'm like, that's stressed that she's gonna ask me, what do you want to talk about? And I'm gonna say, I don't know. But yeah, that day she asked me, how's my physical health? And I went, well, my eating kind of sucks again. And we just talked about it, and I managed to tell her how I feel and how it makes me feel. And she basically talked at me for the whole, therapy session. But I really, really needed that. I just needed somebody to tell me that it's okay and that it's not my fault. And we came up with a plan what to do if the triggers happen again. And genuinely, it was 2 weeks ago that we had this conversation. And I feel, although I know I'm not perfect, and I'm still technically, some people will be like, oh, you're struggling, I feel less stressed about it. I feel like, oh, I've shared that with somebody else, and it doesn't genuinely like control my emotions as much. If I'm having a bad day with my eating disorder, it doesn't overwhelm me as much, and I don't hate myself so much for it. So I feel like I'm very glad we did that episode, because it let me open up about it more. And because I told the world that I'm struggling, of course I can tell my therapist now,
Yeah, it was almost like, because we've already talked about it in one way or form or shape with anything or anyone. You already had those words, like you put it out there, and it's just afterwards so much easier to talk about it with anyone.
Yes,
I don't know, like exactly. The fact that you already said it once, it's so much, I don't know, there's some, like, it is, like, it actually is, which I really like. One of our idea of this podcast was that it would be, what do we get from it? We get the therapy, basically, for ourselves. And that's what it has done. That's what it has done.
And we get to talk about things we want to talk about, or we need to talk about. Because obviously some topics are very hard to talk about, and I feel like we both needed to talk about the grief. And
Yes.
And I kind of want to do an episode like that again, because probably we didn't say everything we wanted to say, and our experience will change throughout the years and as we grow older, and we're gonna cry again, and that's fine.
yes, that's true. That is very true. No, it's good. I think it's been such a good year, actually.
Yeah.
I know at some points I have felt like it hasn't been my priority, unfortunately, but I'm still like, it wasn't lost fully because we still kept doing it. But yeah, overall it's been such a great journey.
Yeah, imagine
first year.
Yeah, I'm very proud of us, but I'm just like, imagine if we actually tried.
yeah, right. Yeah,
because I feel like this year it was just, okay, we have to do one again
kind of thing.
Yeah. So I feel, but I have so many, I'm turning into list people, but it's not because I find lists helpful. It's just my ADHD at the moment, I think, is so bad because of my PTSD being true. I don't know, I think they're somewhat correlated, but I find it very hard to remember anything at the moment. So I started making lists, like for my therapy, for what I want to talk to you, for what I want to talk to my partner, because like sometimes I just forget, and I made a list for like my 2025 goals, and also some for here. So I'm very excited for next year, because I want to put my heart and soul into it, because it is something I'm passionate about, and I like having this platform, and it clearly is helping both of us, and hopefully it's helping you guys too. And let us know what your favorite episode was, if you had one as well, because I'm actually curious, because I know obviously we know what we like talking about, but what did you like listening to? Yeah.
Tell us. Oh wow. No, I think it's been a year. It's definitely been a year in personal life, in every aspect. I can't believe this.
Do you have any goals for next year that you're like, oh, I want to do that?
Yes, quite not very recent because it's been in my mind for a while. I kind of want to explore explore my family history in a sense that I know that my grandparents, for example, they're not getting any younger, right?
Yes.
And I don't think I know that much about their childhood or anything, so I'm thinking I could like invest my time and really listen through their stories and what they've been through and everything. Especially in the recent weeks, it's really come up to me like, what the hell? They've been through so much.
War, pretty much, yeah. Occupied country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been a shit show.
I'm actually really surprised you said that.
Really?
But not like in a bad way. It's just about 2 weeks ago, I've bought my partner for Christmas an ancestry kit because it's something I really want to do. So I was like, and I wanted to buy two, but they're quite expensive. And even on the offer, it was still 80, 90 pounds. So
Wow.
I got him a kit and I was like, oh, and they also have a website where you can like build your family tree. And I'm really curious about that because obviously I know nothing about my biological father, but I was like, okay, how much can I learn about everybody else? So I asked my mum for like the family tree and I started putting it in that website, and then things happened and I forgot about it. But that is one of my goals for next year. I really want to like properly like fill it out and like find out, because you can also on that website, obviously we're Latvian, so it's more like aimed at British people, but there was still like, I typed in my mother's maiden name and there were people that jumped out and I was like, oh my god, I could technically be related to them, you know? It's quite interesting. So that is also one of my goals. So I'm just surprised to hear you say that.
Yeah, it's just kind of a genuine kind
Is
of
it
thing.
an age
'Cause
thing?
before, I think maybe. But it's also actually for me astrologically, it's good to explore this topic. But before that, there was I think I have mentioned that potentially it would be cool for me to write a book about my life. Like up until now,
Oh,
that
yes.
kind of potentially was my goal for my 25th. I never started. Now I did write some ideas down. I think I recorded one or two voice notes for myself, but I never really put any effort in it. Because I thought it would be cool to you just kind of write everything about your life up until this moment, and then every now and then, every like 5 or 10 years, you can do it again. So yeah, I didn't do it. But because of that, I thought, like, I was thinking about the book and stuff, it would be cool to kind of like, yeah, you start as if like, okay, there were these people, they met, you know how it's usually in the
that's
movies,
cute.
like,
yeah,
because they met, it's like,
it is your
I
history.
exist
Yeah,
and stuff,
yeah.
right? Yeah, and like, yeah, that would be like a little intro kind of thing. But yeah,
Oh,
that
that's
kind of,
lovely.
that was the first time I was like, oh yeah, I need to like know a bit more. Yeah, so it's like it goes like actually generations and generations and generations before. Oh yeah. So that's kind of like a hobby level. It's not like, I don't know. It is my goal, but I'm not putting too much pressure on myself to do it. But I do think, because like on one hand it was like, oh, it would be cool to record everything. It would be cool to write, like really remember. But I think I'm gonna keep it in a sense that it's gonna be like, I'm gonna have conversations with my parents, with my grandparents, and ask them about stuff, and like from that just kind of hopefully remember.
There are
Things
books
and then
that
use
you
it
can
for-
buy. I don't know if we could get them in Latvian, because obviously they
I
don't
know,
speak
where they
English.
ask questions to the people. and
Yeah,
they write out,
it's just
yeah.
called like something for my mum to fill out. You know, I've seen it them advertised, and I'm like, that's so cool.
Yeah, me
but
too.
the wrong language.
Yeah. Can you do it in Latvian, please? Can someone translate it?
Or we just have to translate the questions and they can write it in Latvian, I suppose.
Yeah.
Because it's for
Yeah.
you at the end of the day, not nobody else.
That's true. That is very true. Goals. Another goal for next year is just, I feel like in the second half of the year, I've slowly been losing myself. I've lost confidence. Not lost, but I think, because I thought like up until like a certain point, I was just growing, and I was like, yeah, it was getting better and better, and then life changed, I don't want to talk about it now because yeah, I don't want to. And because of that event, it kind of felt like everything after feels like I'm just kind of like I'm like nowhere near where I was half a year ago. I don't know, like it's such a big difference, and yeah, I
Yeah.
know it's not probably lost fully. I think it's probably a temporary thing, but that's how I feel like right now.
Also,
So
growth isn't
my goal for
always
next year,
uphill. You maybe started
yeah,
going sideways, to a different hill. And
yeah,
maybe that's why
yeah.
it feels like you haven't, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I think yeah, my next year I don't put too much pressure on myself on a lot of things. I just want to go through things and get back to myself and feel more like myself, and yeah. I know it seems like it's always finding yourself kind of thing, but it's not what I mean. I think like settling in my own being and being more um yeah, more stable in it. Like we do change, and I would probably change anyways. It's just yeah. Right now, I just feel like I'm kind of up in the air. I can be pulled and molded in whatever shape or form, whatever the outside would like me to be. So yeah,
Well, I hope you
but
become what you want to be.
yes, me too. Thank you. What are your goals? Do you have any?
I have so many
Besides the
like
podcast.
silly ones, very silly ones.
Oh, no, I don't think they're silly goals.
You haven't heard them yet. You're gonna judge me in 5 minutes. Um, so my goal is to be more socially present, but that's like based on social media. Because I feel like all I do with my life, if I am on social media, I just doom scroll. And because we have this podcast, and because I have so many ideas that I also personally maybe would like to do, like either with poetry or with like baking, because I've fallen into love with that again. Like I love that I'm getting back to being the me that I lost and I thought I'd never get back. So I want to be more present on social media. Like maybe make a few posts, maybe make a few reels, and if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. If they flop, they flop. But to me, I don't think it will ever be about if it flopped or not, because to me, our platforms is just like a social diary that like people can like take a peek, and they're not gonna see necessarily all the posts, and they obviously won't know everything that's happened. But to me, I think I just want to use it as a digital scrapbook, essentially. And I really want to focus on that next year. And if I do that on my personal account, surely I will do that also for like this account, because I'll be in the rhythm of it, and I really hope that happens. And that is one of my like main goals. My other goal is to just be more friendly, but I mean that in a way as to I don't know, like keep my friendships alive and talk to my friends a bit more, and maybe because I feel like I can really work on the relationship I have with Law, because I feel like that's kind of lacked, sadly. And obviously we live in different countries and time zones and lives and adulthood, but I feel like that's just excuses. Like I could do better, and I feel like that's something I want to work on, and just like I want to make friends or just better my friendships in general. That's what I mean by be more friendly, because I feel like it's very easy to be like, oh, I've done my shift, I'm now gonna like relax on the sofa and do scroll for days. I could talk to people, and that is something I want to focus on. And then the silly ones, I've been wanting to cut my hair very short, like to a bob length, for about 8 months now, and I'm just gonna do it. So that is my goal for next year. Just do it. Do whatever you want to do. I've been wanting a piercing in my ear. I will do it. So that's like the silly things I've written down. I'm like, get the damn piercing.
That's not silly.
Cut your hair. Get those highlights that you've been like thinking about for a year now. Get that tattoo that you've wanted since you're 16. It's just silly things like that. I'm like, 2025 is the year when I'm actually gonna do it.
Yes. Oh, I love that. That is not silly at all. What do you mean? I think it's actually
It's
a
not
big
silly,
thing.
but if you look at my list, it's just like, get a tulip tattoo on your neck. People will be like, what? But no,
Is that a goal?
to me it's,
I mean,
yeah.
it is a goal because you need to save up for it. So,
Yeah.
you know, like...
Yes, exactly. But yes, that is like, just do it. And I also want to sort out my finances because I feel like
Yeah.
this is the year I've realized how important they are. And it feels like this is the first year of me being an adult because before that I was a child adult, if that makes any sense. And this year I've realized, oh, like I've moved now, it's been Christmas time, so I again have excuses why it hasn't been sorted. But I really want to focus on that next year and start a savings account and be able to go traveling and not touching my credit card for that. You know, I just want to be stable and understand where money is going and why is it going there, and maybe pull something back. I just want to really focus on that, I feel like.
Yeah.
For myself and for my future family. I hope one day that happens.
Of course it will. What do you mean? No, that is a good one. Yeah, that's actually a good point. That is one of my things as well, to kind of... I've sort of been toying around the fact, oh yeah, I need to sort out my finances or like understand where it comes and goes, and I kind of had the budget every now and then last year, but like for the past 3 months or so, it's where it's more strict. It's actually like, it's literally, I mean, for other reasons as well, because I really need to know where I can put the money or not. But I think it's put me on a good path where it's like I actually know where my money is going, and if I feel good about it or bad, or like, do I need to change something, and like just be more intentional with money spending, money in general. So that is again, like next year is gonna be the first proper year where I'm like putting effort to save up money.
I feel like next year is the first year we're gonna be proper adults.
Yeah. But you know what? I saw this reel recently where someone said, I think the person had said that they're basically a teenager still, but they were like 25 or 24 or something. And then someone else said that basically it is, yeah. So up until 2025, we're still kids quite often. Like you're under someone else's care. So from the age of 20, maybe that's the first time you're kind of on your own because you're in uni or start working and living separately from your family. So that's actually, let's be real, like the first 5 years of your 20s, you're like a toddler adult, and then you turn into like a teenage adult when you're in your 30s, because it's like it's been only 10 years since you've been an adult, kind of thing. So I think it makes sense.
Yeah,
I think it makes
sense. Definitely feels that way as well, because I feel like I'm only 25, but I feel like my head is more screwed on than it was just a year ago.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping I can
use
that head.
Responsible as well.
Yes. Yes. And I maybe
but it's not because... like I never felt responsible. I feel like I've always felt responsible, but I think, I don't know, it's like a different level.
I feel like now we understand the consequences a bit more, because before that, yes, we could take accountability, we were responsible and things like that, but we never cared that much about the future. And feel like now we've hit 25 and they say our frontal lobe is finally like developed. It shows.
It hits you.
Yeah. And we're like, ooh, have to start saving for kids.
Yeah.
And that future house I want to have, you know, it's not going to magically fall into my lap. You need money for that. You want to drive? Start saving.
Yeah. Or find ways how to get more money into. But I think first you need to understand where you're putting your money, and if you keep spending everything you get, so that means there's already some sort of a management problem. So if you deal with that first, I think that's gonna help. But yeah, wow, I do feel like, I don't know if it's still recording.
I don't know either.
Like I need to check it.
I'm really scared that we're gonna just talk.
If it was,
I hadn't clicked record.
Yeah.
We'll come to that bridge.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I feel like if you feel okay, we can wrap it up.
Yeah. Do you wanna?
Yeah.
Do you have any goals maybe for the podcast that you would like to say for next year, or should we just keep it on a down low and then next year be like, hey?
Yeah. I think, well, you already kind of mentioned the fact. Well, also this is a proof that we're trying to do something different. It's more of a video format thing. And in general, more posting on socials, more pushing of the podcast. this year was like, okay, we kind of did it. I said that we did it, and then every now and then I would share it on my personal profile, but I didn't fully. So now is the time that I'm owning up to it and really putting in the work. Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
What about you? You wanna? Well, I mean, you already said a lot.
Yeah. I always say a lot. Yeah, I just want to be more, I guess, socially present, as you said, like talk about things a bit more, involve people maybe a bit more. There are some ideas that I need to talk to you about that I already have, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I feel like next year is gonna be the year.
Yeah, yeah.
I just have very high hopes for it, and I hope that in a year we can sit down and talk about it and be like, yeah, look at what we've accomplished. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And I'm really manifesting it for us.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be better because yeah, in the modern world, we do need to put more video content out there. So this is what we're working on, and it's actually gonna be again another personal growth thing to put ourselves out there on a video. Even though I sort of started doing it on my personal one, but then I've stopped. I feel like I kind of. But yeah, there are reasons why. Going through stuff, but yeah. So this is gonna be it. You're gonna see us more. And
hopefully you like it.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And I hope we're gonna get a bit more interaction back as well.
That'd be nice.
So yeah, we'll manage it as it comes. Yeah. Well, this is gonna be this has been fun. I'm filming with the front camera of my phone, so I have no idea how it looks like. I don't know if you can see my face.
You mean the back one?
Yeah, like the actual. Yeah.
I am doing the same.
Camera.
That's why I'm hoping it's recording.
So I hope I'm even in the frame or anything.
Yeah, I hope I'm in focus.
Oh yes. And yeah.
Sure, we are. It's fine. But yeah, thank you guys for listening. As always, please follow us everywhere. We are on Spotify, we're on YouTube, we're on Instagram. We even have a Facebook page if people are still there. And yeah, just follow us. Let us know your thoughts. Just be active. Reach out. We don't bite, I promise. We just want to have a chat. We want to have a interaction and talk about everything with everybody. And yeah, it was nice seeing you.
Yeah, thank you. And whenever this comes out, I still want to say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Yeah, very Merry Christmas and very Happy New Year. I hope everything that you want and wish for is gonna come true.
Yes. Awesome. Well, thank you.
Okay. Bye.